Hello dear students, welcome in today's fluid mechanics class. Our running chapter is centrifugal pump. Till we have seen all the important parts of the centrifugal pump, their construction, their working and various heads in the centrifugal pump and various efficiencies of centrifugal pump. Today I am going to discuss about the multi-stage centrifugal pump. What is the multi-stage centrifugal pump? When more than one impeller is used in a centrifugal pump, then that centrifugal pump is called as multi-stage centrifugal pump. Till we have seen that one impeller is there in pump and water entering through suction and coming out from impeller outlet. One side of impeller water is entering, other side of impeller water is coming out. But this is the case where more than one impellers are used. And what is the purpose of using those impellers, more than one impellers? What is the purpose of multi-stage centrifugal pump? There are two purposes of multi-stage centrifugal pump. Purpose number one is to produce a high head. High head means when we need to lift water or liquid up to very height, then one impeller is not sufficient. We need more than two impellers. On the other hand, when we need more discharge, means more quantity of liquids per second, still we need to use more than one impeller. And how we will manage those impellers for producing high head, for producing high discharge, that we will see in next pages. Let us see that how we can manage using multi impeller for high head, producing high head and high discharge. Let us see on the next page. Case number 1, multi-stage centrifugal pump for high head. Here we connect the impeller in series. It is called series connection of impeller. We can see the figure. On the one shaft, I have shown here two impellers, impeller 1 and impeller 2. And how it will produce high head, that I explain you. See, this is the suction of first impeller. Here the water will enter in the impeller and water will pressurize at the outlet of the impeller. Water will get high pressure, and that high pressure water again by the use of pipes will be sent in the input of impeller 2, and again that high pressure water will enter in this impeller, and at the outlet of the pump we will get the water with more than pressure than the pressure at the entry of this impeller. Again, if we want to raise the more pressure at output of the impeller or output of the pump, then we can add one more impeller here, and the output of this impeller will be sent to the input of the next impeller. So in this way we can raise the pressure more and more high. As the pressure will be more high at the delivery side, the water can be lifted more high. So this pump is called multi-stage centrifugal pump. Multi-stage. Multi-stage means more than one impeller. First stage pressure will increase more, second stage pressure will increase more, and here I have shown this is called a two-stage centrifugal pump in series. So this is the multi-stage centrifugal pump for high head, and number 2 is the multi-stage centrifugal pump for high discharge. How we will manage the impeller for high discharge? Here we need one impeller on one shaft. Here we have connected number of impellers on one shaft because it is in series. But in multi-stage centrifugal pump for high discharge, we need separate shaft and separate impeller on separate shaft. Here we can see that this is the suction pipe of first impeller, and this is the first shaft, and this is the other impeller on the other shaft, and this is the suction pipe of the other impeller. Both are merged in same sump, and this is the delivery pipe of the first pump, and this is the delivery pipe of the second pump. Both the delivery pipes are connected in a common pipe. Here we can see, and the discharge coming from this sump through this pump is entering in this common pipe, and discharge coming from this second pump is again through the delivery pipe entering in this common pipe. So at the outlet of this common pipe, we are getting the discharge given by this pump and this pump, means Q1 plus Q2. So this is parallel connection. We can get high discharge through this connection, but not high head. For high discharge, we can use this type of connection. This connection is called series parallel connection of the impeller, and this connection is called series connection. This is used for high head, where we need to lift water at the more height, and here we are using this type of connection we are using where we need more and more discharge. Suppose from the different pumps connected in parallel having discharge Q1, Q2 and Qn. So in the common pipe at the outlet, we will get the total discharge at the outlet Q is equal to Q1 plus Q2 plus Q3 and Qn. If all the discharge value are equal, means pump are having all the pumps connected in parallel having the same capacity, then let's say each pump having discharge value Q dash, then n number of pump will give the discharge at the outlet of the common pipe Q is equal to n into Q dash. This is total discharge. Let us come on the next point, priming of centrifugal pump. As I had explained during the working of the centrifugal pump, what is the priming, but again separately I am giving this point for making more focus on this priming. What is the priming? Priming of centrifugal pump is defined as the operation in which suction pipe, common casing of the pump and a portion of delivery pipe up to the delivery valve is completely filled from outside source with the liquid to be raised by the pump before starting the pump. So we have to fill up the suction pipe and casing of the pump and delivery pipe up to the delivery valve with the same liquid which we want to lift from the sump. If we want to lift water from the sump, then we will have to fill water from outside source in suction pipe and casing and delivery pipe up to the delivery valve. If we want to lift some other liquid, then the same liquid will have to fill. This process is called priming. This is done because if there will be air in suction pipe and casing, the sufficient suction head will not be created at the suction side of the pipe, which can lift the water from the sump. Because air has low density, so pump will try to impart head which depends on the velocity of the impeller, and it does not depend on the density. That high head, same head will be imparted by the pump. So if there will be air, then no sufficient head will be there, suction head will be there, which can lift the water from the suction. So I have clearly mentioned here, if this is the action of filling liquid in the above said parts is done to remove air from those parts. If this is not done, then due to less density of air, the sufficient suction pressure cannot create in the suction side, which can lift the water from the sump. So in this way we need to prime the pump before starting it. Let us see next point, cavitation. Cavitation also I have discussed earlier in first chapter. Again I am mentioning here separately. What is cavitation? Cavitation includes formation of vapor bubbles of the flowing fluid and collapsing of the vapor bubbles. What is cavitation? Forming of vapor bubble and collapsing of vapor bubble on the metal surface. So formation of vapor bubbles of the flowing fluids take place only, as I have explained, whenever pressure in any region falls below the vapor pressure. We know that at the vapor pressure, water gets boiling. So when the pressure of the flowing fluid is less than the vapor pressure, the liquid starts boiling and vapor bubbles are formed. These vapor bubbles are carried along with the flowing liquid to higher pressure zone, where these pressure bubbles collapse. Due to collapsing of the vapor bubbles on the metallic surface, high pressure produced and metallic surface are subjected to high stress and get damaged and corroded. Due to collapsing of high pressure vapor bubble at the high pressure zone on the metallic surface and getting damaged and corroded of the metallic surface, this is called cavitation. What precaution should we take to stop the cavitation? The pressure of the flowing liquid in any part of the hydraulic system should not be allowed to fall below its vapor pressure. Means we will have to take care that in a flowing fluid the vapor pressure, the pressure of the liquid is not going below the vapor pressure at that temperature. Point number 1. And what other precaution we can take? Second precaution is against the cavitation is that the special materials or coating such as aluminium, bronze and stainless steel, which are cavitation resistance materials, should be used. These two are important precautions against the cavitation to save the hydraulic system from the cavitation. And now I would like to discuss the effects of cavitation. What are the effects of cavitation? The metallic surface the metallic surfaces are damaged and cavities are formed on the surfaces. As I have explained nicely that due to cavitation, metallic surface gets damaged and corroded. So, what is the second effect? Due to sudden collapse of vapor bubble, considerable noise and vibration are produced. This is also a very big problem. Noise and vibration. High level of noise and vibration can affect on our ear. So the noise and vibration are also considerable. There should be not very high noise and vibration in the machines. So this is the second effect. Third effect is due to cavitation, efficiency of the hydraulic machine get reduced. So these three are important effects of the cavitation. Now I would like to introduce a note that in centrifugal pump the cavitation may occur. In centrifugal pump the cavitation may occur because at the inlet of the pump, means at the suction side of the pump, there is high vacuum pressure, means low pressure is there, and there the pressure bubble can form, and at the delivery side or outlet side of the impeller pressure is high. So this bubble can blast at high pressure, and cavitation on the impeller blade and casing is possible in the centrifugal pump. Because at the suction side pressure is low, there is the possibility at low pressure at there the vapor bubbles will form, and those bubbles will come in the outlet of the impeller, and at the outlet of the impeller and in the casing these bubble may blast, collapsed, and maybe corroded the impeller and casing. So this I have mentioned in notes, but you can take it very serious. Now we will see the next point, that is net positive suction head. What is the net positive suction head? It is practically very important thing in the centrifugal pump. This term is very commonly used in pump industry. This is very considerable term, considerable value for the pump industry. This thing decide that each pump is able to suck the water from the sump, and what is that suction head through which this pump can suck the water. So the minimum suction condition at the inlet of the centrifugal pump is specified by the term net positive suction head. Means net positive suction head is the minimum suction condition at the inlet of the centrifugal pump. So mathematically net positive suction head is the pressure head at the inlet. This is the absolute pressure head. Absolute pressure head minus vapor pressure head at that condition, whatever temperature is available at the inlet, at that temperature what is the pressure, vapor pressure head, plus that is the kinetic head in the suction side, means velocity in suction pipe square divided by 2g. So this quantity is called net positive suction head. Let us make more easy to this equation. Suppose this is the pump and this is the sump. So say sump is 0.1 and this is the inlet of the centrifugal pump. Say this is the 0.2 and HI is the head at the inlet, and at 0.1 is the atmospheric pressure. So head at 0.1 will be PA by rho g, because there is no velocity head and no with that potential head. No potential head, no velocity head. So only pressure head is there. Here is the atmospheric pressure. So head at point 1 is Pa by rho g. And suppose head at point 2 is Hi. So Hi is the inlet of the pump. Let's say P1 is the pressure at the inlets, absolute pressure, not gauge, vacuum or gauge. So at point 2, suppose pressure is P1, absolute pressure. So P1 by rho g, that is the pressure head, plus Vs square by 2g, that is the velocity head, plus this is the potential head Hs, the distance from the sum to the this point. We also say it suction head, plus loss due to friction in the suction pipe. This quantity will be equal to this quantity. At point 1, 2, we apply the Bernoulli's theorem. Now from this equation we are getting P1 by rho g equal to Pa by rho g minus this quantity. All these quantities we are taking this side, and we are getting P1 is equal to Pa by rho g minus Vs square by 2g minus Hs minus Hfs. Now this is the NPSH, net positive suction head, and here is the one term P1 by rho g, and this P1 by rho g we will put here, and what we will get we see. From 1 and 2 we are getting NPSH is equal to Pa by rho g minus this quantity we are putting here in place of P1 by rho g minus Pv by rho g plus Vs square by 2g. Now this Vs square by 2g, Vs square by 2g will cancel, and what we are getting next we see in next page. So NPSH is equal to Pa by rho g minus Pv by rho g minus Hs minus Hfs. This is equation 3. Here Pa by rho g is equal to atmospheric pressure head. Suppose we indicate by Ha, and Pv by rho g is the vapor pressure head. At that temperature we are indicating Hv to the vapor pressure head. So equation 3 will convert to this form. NPSH is equal to Hp minus Hv minus Hs minus Hfs. So this is the net positive suction head. Net positive suction head. Net positive pressure available there. Net positive pressure available at the inlet, which can help to flow the water in the inlet of the impeller. So this quantity above equation 4 give us the value of net positive suction of the centrifugal pump. So I have written one more definition here. The same thing is there, but I am mentioning here. The net positive suction head can also be defined as total head required to make the liquid flow through the suction pipe to the pump impeller. So this is the actual meaning of the net positive suction head. What is the net positive suction head at the inlet, which can help to water flow in the impeller? And when water will enter in the impeller, definitely water will get the energy over there. But important is that water should enter in the impeller, and this much is the minimum, this much is the positive suction head, which will help to enter the water in the impeller inlet. When water will enter the impeller, then impeller is rotating with external energy, external source, and definitely water will energize there. Water will get high pressure at the outlet of the pump. So this is the next positive suction head. So some other thing also we will discuss in related to centrifugal pump in next class, and today's class I stop here. Thank you.